Hello everyone! The world sees incredible things every day, sometimes even things that seem impossible to explain. From rare natural occurrences to genuinely spooky discoveries made by people, there's plenty of interesting stuff in this compilation. Let's get it on. The perfect spot for lazy fishing. What happens when you try to save money on a car wash?
人生气的话，这个嘴里鼓包，然后车生气的话，这个头上鼓包。
Let's enjoy the view of a solar eclipse from the Starlink satellite in orbit. Exploring the jungle is not for the faint-hearted. It might seem that there's no logical explanation for these strange rings in the sky, but actually it's just a volcano in Italy showing off. A meticulously planned and incredibly mesmerizing domino effect. Seeing how tiny the grown man looks next to the ship, it's hard to believe that regular people like him and many others actually build these vessels. A controlled landslide in the mountains looks incredibly epic. But an uncontrolled one? That's a whole different level of scary, with its massive scale and unpredictability. wish I could trust someone as much as these guys trust that delicate bridge over the rushing stream. The one beach where you have to meet height requirements to enter. And no, that's not CGI. This beach is actually on the Caribbean island of Sint Maarten, practically right next to the airport. Even though the airport rules say planes can't fly below 500 feet, checking out this place definitely gives your vacation an extra thrill. What's cooler than destroying a cooling tower? Only one thing: destroying two of them at once. Joys of going on a safari.
Is your face okay, Mariana? Yeah.
To let you savor the gentle flavor of Japanese mochi, the dough goes through real torture. New fear unlocked. Anyone who runs slower than 50 miles per hour doesn't belong in India. In a London art gallery, there's this exhibition where paintings by great artists come alive. Being there must be absolutely awesome. This door alone could make you consider adding a secret room to your home. The formal name for it is the Briggs-Rauscher reaction, but most people call it iodine clocks. We just see it as pure magic.
شوف اللمبة شوف اللي بالأرض هنا شيء شوف الدوار أسود.
It's unclear what exactly attracted this whole legion of bugs, but one thing's for sure, I definitely wouldn't want to be in the cameraman's shoes. This tick is so huge and creepy, it could easily be a new monster in a Half-Life game.
Look it.
The woman who filmed this claims that she found these bats in her office building.
Boom, boom.
The Gouldian finch looks like the nightmare pet of any trypophobic person.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Riding an amusement park ride can't match the thrill of strolling near the blades of a wind turbine. Relax, everything's fine. It's just that the filming of Chicago Fire looks way too real. That awkward feeling when even your shadow has found a partner. Coming across a hole in the forest isn't all that surprising, unless it's so deep you can't see the bottom and you have no clue where it came from.
Aí a gente acha que ele morreu. Tá só se refrescando na areia. Olha.
You're walking through the forest on a sunny day and see this. What do? Well, the guy who filmed the video sure isn't one to freak out easily, but now you know that it was just an armadillo.
Mato Grosso quente.
You can't really question the freshness of the fish steaks at this place. It might have seemed like a sign or evidence of alien life ages ago. But not now, when everyone knows about the fascinating phenomenon of meteor showers. However, that doesn't stop us from marveling at their beauty every time. This pilot deserves applause for their flawless control and skillful maneuvering. If you've got a buddy who can doze off anywhere, anytime, hit that like button. Or let us know in the comments if that's you. Who ordered the most natural chips in the world? Your average dad and the pet he didn't want. Standard street cleaning in any country worldwide, and street cleaning in Australia. This alien-like creature seems straight out of a horror movie, but it's actually a bobbit worm that can grow up to 10 feet long. So, just a heads up, keep an eye out on the beaches, just in case. Just got our hands on some exclusive footage from Dune Part 3. Arachnophobes, he got back at them for all of us. Picture this. You walk out onto your porch in the evening and see that at your neighbour's place. Okay, this is just a dog, but its size is definitely a bit unsettling. This has an unsettling vibe, almost like the secret base of a villain. But it's actually a cool show featuring a 40-foot tall Tesla coil, all set up to honour the birthday of the brilliant scientist. Fans of classic games, we've got a video just for you. China came up with this unique exterior solution for a building. I wonder if it makes the residents uncomfortable. It's hard to find roads cleaner than those in Malta. I don't know what this event is, but it seems like a lot of fun.
Hey everybody, this is Britton Douglas with Douglas Nissan. I just want to introduce you to this Ram 1500. Just flew onto our lot and it's going to go fast. Come on down, we're crushing the competition. Britton Douglas here at Douglas Nissan.
After that marketing move, if I ever want to buy a Nissan, I'll definitely go to this guy to get it. The trendiest airplane you'll ever lay eyes on. You can see some rather peculiar regulars in stores across Argentina.
Disculpe, ¿tiene la figura del tiempo? Ah, ¿sí quieres vender?
Well, sea lions aren't exactly known for being shy types, but this one at least had the patience to wait for the vendor to get food.
¿Se levantó mal hoy, maestro? ¿Cuánto está en la figura del tiempo? Bueno, permiso, voy a pasar a ver. Ah, ¿cómo que no? Déjeme pasar a ver.
The wildlife in Thailand sure is diverse, but the creatures in front of you probably aren't familiar to science. That's because they're actors dressed in costumes for the annual Biennale. Weird sight, huh?
So we're gonna move. Yep. Super, we're gonna move. Monia, I got this for you. So we're gonna move over there.
Who knew caves could hide creatures scarier than bats? Like that kid dressed up for Halloween last year. That's enough to make you go prematurely grey. Can you imagine anyone needing to steal ice? It sounds like the silliest crime ever, right? But that's exactly what you're witnessing right now. Alright, this was all planned out. During the spring thaw, local surfers traditionally snatch up some ice, kicking off the paddling season. It's such a lively and fun event. Here are some tranquil scenes straight from the Spanish Dam. What a truly efficient teamwork can do. Check out the situations air traffic controllers have to handle. That is just insane. I bet scientists from the university with this wave tank come here to unwind after a long day. It gets a bit hot just from looking at this video. Hopefully, members of Rammstein have already seen this and will keep it in mind for their future
再来
concerts.
过一次，看看可以。This is the PLO controller.
There's a massive crater over 65 feet deep with flames blazing inside, and it's not some mythical place. It's real and located in the desert of Turkmenistan, famously known as the Door to Hell. It's been burning continuously for more than 50 years, all because of a mistake by geologists and an abundance of natural gas. This fighter jet is retiring, and it's getting a ride to its new home as a memorial on the biggest transport helicopter around.
Shut up. Oh my god! Oh my god.
Seeing two suns in the sky isn't something you come across every day, let alone spotting 3 moons. Some people see it as a sign from the mysterious Hecate, while others think it's a unique natural phenomenon. And there are those who lean towards an optical illusion or a fake. What's your take? Share your thoughts in the comments below. A surreal and incredibly stunning sight glimmers on the ground during a solar eclipse. A bunch of stingrays jumping out of the water while they migrate. It's seriously amazing. At first, this guy was thinking of traveling solo, but he accidentally stumbled upon a loyal companion.
This man just chilling here. We're going down the road. Me and my little goose. I wonder if he's gonna follow me to the tree stand.
Perhaps even a bit too
I
loyal.
just went hunting. He's still here. What are you doing? Why? Come on.
Hey, fishing enthusiasts, here's a simple recipe for bait. I need a 10-hour version of this. You definitely haven't fed pets like this before.
Hello, everyone.
Nature loves showing off its power through various natural disasters, and floods are one of its favorite ways to remind people just how mighty it is. Check out this compilation to see some of the most sudden and massive displays of nature's force. Let's get it on. People often underestimate the power of cyclones until they experience it firsthand. That's exactly what happened this time. The Mediterranean cyclone brought massive downpours to Genoa, with rainfall reaching 4 times the monthly average in just 24 hours. Streams and rivers overflowed, flooding streets and mercilessly sweeping away everything in their path. Just imagine, a couple of days ago it was just a regular town. And then out of the blue, it got flooded with tons of water. Crazy, right? Intense rain and melting snow can lead to severe floods, as seen in a Canadian city recently. Additional streams of water came down onto the city through drainage systems meant to channel away surplus water from the mountains. Look at how easily the powerful current is washing away the roads and house foundations by the river. It's crazy how all that hard work put into building them is gone in no time. This video looks more like a scene from a post-apocalyptic movie. But unfortunately, it's not fiction. It's the aftermath of a storm that caused a massive fire in the Italian city of Savona. The unbelievably strong winds knocked down trees mercilessly. Heavy rainfall flooded the city and ultimately led to a short circuit in a car park. In some cars, the batteries exploded, and within moments, fire engulfed the area. As a result of the fire, around 1,500 cars were destroyed, and the whole scene looks incredibly eerie.
Centinaia e centinaia di macchine bruciate.
Can you believe how crazy the weather got in sunny Italy? When a fierce storm hit their hometown of Catania, Sicilians couldn't even recognize it anymore. For several days, heavy rains poured all over the region, accompanied by strong winds. Imagine what it was like for those who had to go to work in such conditions. They had to wade through nearly 1.5 feet of rainfall. Nature's sudden moon swings forced authorities to declare the highest level of danger to protect the city's residents and prevent casualties. When these people purchased their home, they wanted to be nearer to the sea. They weren't concerned about the unusual water level, and when the tide receded, the ocean didn't seem as close. Little did they know that someday, there would be an earthquake in the Aegean Sea, leading to unforeseen consequences. Underground tremors triggered a tsunami that slammed into the coastal buildings, including this lovely house. Look at the force of that wave. It even busted the door wide open and flooded every room. Imagine the shock on the homeowner's face when she returned and saw this whole mess. On that day, workers from Puerto Rico could only watch helplessly as floodwaters tore the bridge from its foundation and carried it downstream. This happened due to heavy rainfall that caused severe flooding. This was all brought down by the hurricane with the sweet and innocent name, Fiona. But as you can see, the impact of such an event was undeniably severe. Now, let's see how it looked from the opposite bank. They put up this bridge just after the last big storm. It's weird that even with that in mind, they couldn't figure out a way to make it tough enough for the next one. It's crazy to think how easily the water washed away such a big, solid metal structure. Here's what another hurricane with a beautiful name has done. Nora swept through Mexico, dumping an enormous amount of rainfall several times higher than normal and causing a significant rise in water levels in the rivers. Unfortunately, one of the bridges couldn't withstand the force of the current and collapsed right in front of people's eyes. Everyone was warned about the danger, and traffic was blocked, but people wanted to see for themselves what the storm was capable of. Judging by their reaction, they definitely didn't expect the bridge to be completely destroyed. Edenville Dam is a 1.2-mile-long embankment standing nearly 55 feet tall. But it still couldn't withstand the force of nature when the area was hit by a record amount of rainfall. The dam burst, sending powerful streams of water downstream towards the nearest town. Besides the obvious damage, the surrounding environment took a hit too. The lake formed by the dam was almost completely emptied. It's hard to believe that heavy rain can set off a chain of events with so many destructive consequences. This unsettling footage is the aftermath of a dam breach in Michigan. After 3 days of continuous rain, it gave way, unleashing huge volumes of water. The current was rapid, swiftly reaching the closest town. Authorities had to evacuate several thousand people as numerous homes ended up underwater. Besides that, the water flow also reached the second dam further downstream. The streets of nearby towns were flooded several feet deep, leaving residents with no choice but to abandon their homes and seek higher ground as the water slowly rose around them. A surveillance camera in a Swiss village caught the moment when a landslide hit a carpentry workshop. Within minutes, the muddy flow flooded the workshop area and everything around it. Despite appearing slow and relatively harmless, landslides can effortlessly demolish structures. Houses in the village also took a hit, but fortunately, people were unharmed as they managed to evacuate in time. I bet you're wondering where all these branches and logs came from. According to one researcher, what happened in Switzerland can be explained this way. When the soil is dry, it can't soak up water as it normally would. So, when a hurricane hit the town after a long drought, the rivers filled up way faster, and the water level shot up in no time. The swift current swept up all the dried up sticks and tree bits, not just from the riverbed, but also from the shores. Gotta say, it looks epic. Have you ever seen waves this massive? Well, people in San Sebastian see them regularly, every fall. They say tourists even come here just to watch this epic sight, and it really does look really impressive. Some dare to stroll along the waterfront and feel the rush of a massive wave approaching. I bet it looks 1,000 times cooler in real life. The most important thing is to remember safety when you're looking for that adrenaline rush and getting drenched by a large wave. In 2022, Yellowstone National Park in the USA experienced flooding like it hadn't seen in a century. There was a huge amount of rainfall in the area, and sadly it happened right when the snow was melting. This caused water levels in the rivers to rise, quickly flooding the park. Staff had to evacuate thousands of visitors who barely had the chance to enjoy their time outdoors. The scariest part was how the storm washed away roads and even reached some houses. The rushing water eroded the shores, and homes just toppled into the water like toys. Luckily, park staff were able to warn people, and no one got hurt. It's hard to find someone who hasn't heard about what went down in Dubai in mid-April 2024. The financial hub of the Middle East got slammed with a flood. Unusual heavy rains, which don't happen too often in that region, turned the streets into waterways. The whole world was left scratching their heads. Locals are used to droughts. Tourists expected scorching heat, but nature decided to throw a curveball for everyone at once. Travelers were particularly shocked by the sudden weather change. Airports got flooded, and numerous flights had to be rescheduled or canceled. No matter what plans people make, nature's the one calling the shots. Typically, Agron Waterfall isn't as grand, but recent heavy rains have made it larger. The intense downpours and rise led to various unpleasant outcomes, with the overflow of the waterfall being one of the main ones. Agron's waters overflowed, submerging the downtown area and the waterfront. There was so much water that it covered the ground floors of buildings. It's a situation where you can't help but feel for the locals. Surely they never anticipated that their pride and joy, the waterfall, would cause them such inconvenience. All these folks aren't really in a hurry to escape from the strong water current. Kinda weird, isn't it? You know, as crazy as it sounds, for them it's just another day. This valley in Saudi Arabia gets its lushness from the excess water from a local dam. Because of the year-round flow, the valley is unbelievably green compared to the surrounding landscape. It's like stepping into a real-life fairy tale oasis. It's no surprise that locals enjoy coming to marvel at such beauty and even join in the excitement of the dam releasing water. When nature works its magic, it's impossible to resist. This slow mud flow doesn't seem all that threatening, right? I bet there are rivers where the natural flow is much faster, but that's how nature deceives us. The folks in Kabardina-Balkaria probably never thought this lazy stream could cause any harm, and surely they weren't too bothered when authorities ordered preemptive evacuation. And then they saw this. Yeah, that footbridge just crumbled like it was built from Lego blocks, not metal. The mud flow just carried all the debris along. After that, people definitely started paying more attention to weather warnings. some people actually managed to capture shots of the mud flow up close. In those shots, you can really see that a mud flow isn't just water. Its main thing, and what makes it dangerous, is that it carries chunks of rocks and debris. Maybe that's why, even with its relatively slow speed, a mud flow can wreck big structures and seriously damage buildings. For people living in flat areas, these shots are incredible. Lots of tourists were blown away by what they saw. And for people living in mountainous areas, it's just a regular sight, though still pretty scary. This is what happened to Midland, Michigan, after a heavy flood. It all started with heavy rains pounding the southern part of the peninsula, hitting this country the hardest. But it wasn't just the rain that caused the trouble, it was what came after. Water levels surged in all the lakes, rivers, and reservoirs. Soon one dam broke, then another gave way to the strong flood. Thousands of people had to flee their homes, leaving everything behind just to stay safe. Before long, the place looked like a flooded ghost town. Climate change can be puzzling at times. Just last year, there was a massive wildfire in the canyon not far from this city, and the next summer, heavy rains hit the same area. In less than 20 minutes, 5 inches of rain came down, which is several times higher than the monthly average. The city streets turned into literal rivers, with currents strong enough to carry away some cars. Residents could only stand by in shock, unable to do much. This was the last thing tourists expected to see when visiting a paradise like Bali. Instead of strolling along sandy beaches and swimming in the emerald waters, people were forced to watch as a small tsunami swept over the shoreline. Even though Klungkung is a popular spot for surfers, hardly anyone would dare to test their skills on waves like those.
Whoa. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
Check out the aftermath of heavy rains in the city of Kalba. They were pouring for 2 straight days. And according to meteorologists, these were the heaviest downpours in the last 27 years. Nearly 4,000 people left their homes and had to find shelter. During another search for victims, rescuers shot this video to document the damage caused by the rains. It probably took more than a month to deal with the consequences of the natural disaster. Here's an interesting fact. Being situated in a river delta makes an area super vulnerable to storms. Right now, you can see a perfect example on the screen. The storm is going wild, with wind gusts reaching up to 130 feet per second. Even the shoreline protection couldn't handle the massive waves crashing in, flooding everything in their path. Look at how far the water's reaching. Besides the waterfront, it's flooding residential homes and hotels close to the sea. Bet a lot of folks regretted booking rooms so close to the water on that day. During the flooding in the Chiang Mai province, the water levels in rivers rose so high that it not only reached the bridges, but also swept away some of the structures. Take a look at how quickly the water carried off one of the structures. You can sense the operator's emotions. It's like being caught between marveling at how powerful nature can be and feeling a shiver down your spine at the sheer scale of its force. Seeing something like that, you realize right away that on Earth, nature calls the shots, not humans. Owning a house by the river with a beautiful view sounds like a dream, until something like this happens. The reason behind this chaos is Cyclone Yaku, which unleashed a torrential downpour over Peru. Nobody was ready for it, as something like this had never happened before. People were living peacefully on the outskirts and close to rivers, feeling safe even during heavy rains. However, this cyclone demonstrated nature's force. Overflowing rivers eroded banks and house foundations. Authorities managed to warn people in time, preventing any casualties. Still, people were shaken by how quickly the elements destroyed their homes. The overflowing river in Plantanitos, Guatemala, forced numerous families to abandon their homes. After heavy rains, the city experienced flooding unlike anything before. Residents were warned of the danger and urged to evacuate as far away from the disaster area as possible. Some of them, after reaching safety, managed to capture footage of the rushing water coursing through the streets, sweeping away everything in its path. Those with homes near the coast had it the hardest. The water washed away the sand, making heavy buildings just crumble and fall right into the water. It was a really scary scene. You'd be surprised, but this happened due to avalanches. At the upper reaches of the river, a blockage formed, leading to a sudden rush of water downstream, spilling over the river's banks and flooding the city streets. Picture the disbelief on people's faces as they went about their business. Thankfully, there were no casualties, but there were still challenges. Traffic in the city was significantly restricted, especially for those who decided to take a walk. After Hurricane Ida hit, Philadelphia looked like a scene out of a disaster movie. The storm caused flooding, one of the worst in the state's history. The main highway downtown was completely submerged, and some buildings were nearly underwater up to the second floor. The locals were completely unprepared for something like this. The ones living on the first floors were hit the hardest. Even though no one got hurt, it's scary to think about the extent of the damage suffered by both the authorities and the residents of the city.
The water almost hit the second floor apartments, and I wasn't smart enough to park over there.
Ainov Dat is a stunning national park with a large canyon. In the past, it served as a vital water source in the area because there's a spring at the bottom of the canyon. Nowadays, it's mainly visited by tourists. One lucky group got to witness a small flood with their own eyes. Just a while ago, they were walking along the dried steps of the canyon, and soon enough they watched those steps get flooded with rainwater. It's a super rare sight, and the guys were truly fortunate to witness it. People living in a tiny village in Amman got a special treat when they witnessed a dried up riverbed being replenished by rainwater. Strong rainfall isn't too common in this desert country, so the villagers were surprised to see such a powerful flow of water, which even spilled onto the road. No doubt the folks in this little village would be talking about this amazing event for quite some time. A few folks in Alaska deliberately parked by the dried up river channel to witness the upcoming flood. They managed to get some amazing shots of the water flowing in. It's lucky there weren't any cars on the road at that time. The big valley got filled with water, and the current washed away the road. A huge hole formed where asphalt used to be not long ago. People who heard about it on the news came to see it for themselves. They were stunned, and at the same time impressed by what nature had done. Because only nature can change so quickly. In recent years, India has experienced a notable surge in spontaneous disasters. They're triggered by a mix of factors like changing weather patterns and blocked drainage systems. People find themselves in cities that are instantly flooded after heavy rainfall. A natural disaster literally brings life in the area to a standstill during the flooding. Just look at how this neighborhood is struggling. Some people can't even step out of their homes in such conditions. One can only hope that someday we can become kinder to nature, and in turn, it will be a little more merciful to us. It's not just a picturesque natural fountain. It's the aftermath of a water leak from a reservoir dam in Uzbekistan. The flooding caused significant damage to the area. Roads, buildings, and utilities were all affected, along with agricultural facilities. 10 villages were submerged, and authorities had to evacuate over 30,000 people. These images only capture a fraction of what people had to deal with. The total losses from the incident amounted to nearly $1 million. It's remarkable how something as ordinary as water flow can cause such immense damage.
Hello, everyone.
Whoa.
While some scientists spend years chasing after unique natural phenomena, regular folks in our compilations stumble upon these wonders purely by chance. Today, let's take a look at some of the best and rarest ones. Let's get it on. This tornado in Romania is so massive that it looks like it's about to swallow the camera operator. But actually, it's approximately 1.8 miles away from the road. That's how huge it is. They've never changed the route so quickly before.
Whoa. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah.
I hope their insurance covers situations where the car falls into a big hole. Can you imagine how strong the wind would have to be to knock over heavy-duty construction cranes?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Look at how the water level in the river has risen during the flood. Even the iron bridge can barely withstand such a raging flow. Nobody in the coastal town got tsunami warnings on that day. That's because it was just a ridiculously giant cloud. For some, it's a thrilling force of nature, but for those working on a ship, it's simply another day on the job. Check out what this guy in Switzerland managed to capture: a summer avalanche with a bunch of rocks rapidly coming down the slope. The craziest part? The wooden bridge held up. Have you ever heard of dirty thunderstorms? It's this amazing phenomenon where lightning forms within ash clouds during a volcanic eruption. Here's what happens when an old, dry tree meets a lightning bolt carrying millions of volts. He should have grabbed a bigger umbrella. Here's why. If you were thinking about buying a house near a cliff, you might want to think twice now. If they got scared, imagine how freaked out the owners must be when lightning peeked through the chimney. Thunderstorm plus power line equals, well, you'll see for yourself in a moment. You don't get to witness such a massive, dusty storm every day. Let alone drive right into it and see it from the inside. Luckily, the guys who filmed it were in the car and drove straight through the storm without any problems. Unlike those guys who had to run for their lives from the approaching storm. Oh, and speaking of the wind's power, it doesn't matter how people design their backyard spaces, nature will always have the final say. Northern India is famous for its powerful avalanches and snowfall, but these workers had an especially tough break. At one moment, 2 avalanches hit their workshops simultaneously. A snow tsunami literally engulfed homes and cars. Only quick thinking saved everyone there from terrible consequences. You hear that? That's the sound of nature breathing. A powerful wind can penetrate deep underground, creating the illusion that nature is truly inhaling the fresh forest air deeply. It's simply breathtaking. Nature proves itself to be the ultimate architect. It's hard to imagine humans coming up with the idea of using springs and hollow trees to make such an awesome fountain. Look at how thrilling yet frightening the storm looks on the shore. On days like these, folks must regret living so close to the ocean. One of the most fascinating and relatively rare things in nature is thick sea foam. It forms in the surf zone when the water is literally whipped up by the waves, like a cappuccino foam. Although it can cover coastlines, foam is completely harmless to humans. That's why people happily throw foam parties on the beach. Not the most pleasant sight to wake up to in the morning. But in terms of sheer epicness, there's not much else that can rival it. One of the main reasons why apartments on the top floor are always cheaper. Do you know how destructive hailstorms can get? People in China felt the impact firsthand. Intense hail not only sent them running in terror, but also smashed car windows and caused damage to some buildings. Let's follow her to witness the eruption of one of Guatemala's most active volcanoes, the magnificent Fuego. It's no wonder Azerbaijanis aren't shocked by this kind of show. Nearly half of the world's mud volcanoes are located there, so definitely consider putting a trip to Baku on your bucket list to see the gas eruptions up close.
That is awesome.
From a distance, the tumbleweed looks like a soft ball of yarn, but it's actually just regular branches. So, the driver of this car already knew that scratches were inevitable.
Yeah, what else can you do? Get sick about it? No.
Could you imagine throwing a match off of
Okay, now you better stop and get them off.
That's quite fascinating and amusing to watch, though if we switch up the music... This isn't just any beehive, it's a bustling bee metropolis perched delicately on a branch. Imagine how much time and effort those hard-working little insects must have put in to build something like this. Any ideas what this is? You're looking at the biggest sea lion colony on Cape Cross. By the way, this is just a fraction. There are almost 200,000 of them. Yeah, your eyes are not playing tricks on you. Due to the strong wind, the Mathurin waterfall changed direction, and now the water's flowing upwards. It's something you only get to see once in a lifetime. Imagine if this bolt of lightning had its own name. It'd likely go by Zeus's Rage. I don't know if all folks from Minnesota are as bold, but if I were in his shoes, I'd surely go in the opposite direction. Hurricanes, like nothing else, have a knack for causing chaos. Even if they start off small, they can quickly escalate to incredible proportions within minutes. You've gotta see this. The storm and pouring rain have transformed this port into a scene straight out of a fantasy flick. To help you grasp the size, the guy who filmed the video says the broken off chunk is double the size of Cinderella's castle at Disneyland. Isn't an avalanche just like a huge cloud of smoke? It's an amazing display of nature's power, but it's best to admire it from a safe distance.
Hello everyone! You don't have to waste hours scrolling through the web looking for entertaining videos to chill out when you can just check out our awesome compilation of funny, thrilling, and downright spooky moments. Let's get it on.
Keith! Get up here! Get away from him! Come on, guys! You okay?
Look at this. Oh my God.
Who's gonna say unicorns aren't real after that? The costume looks kinda spooky, but you gotta hand it to the guys. They've nailed the craftsmanship. He's got some shark ancestors for sure. When a strong wind blows, it can even find its way into underground hollows. Watching nature during these moments might make you feel like it's breathing. Truly fascinating. Dust storms look epic, but imagine trying to go outside in those conditions. What an amazing piece of art. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary tree trunk, but it's actually a highly flexible structure made of thousands of layers of paper. Thanks to guys like him, we're getting closer to living in a universe ruled by machines. But man, does it look cool. I can sense your heart racing already, so let me reassure you. This pre-production car was only put together as an experiment. Its purpose was to test assembly technology before mass production begins. These cars rarely get sold, so they usually end up like this. The folks in the apartment must have been petrified to see a plane so close to their balcony. But it was just the Australian Air Force doing some training. The best bet for dealing with a World War II mine is to blow it up. I doubt the Dutch Navy would want to keep a dangerous 1,000-kilogram object. These dudes stepped up their game and decided to go fishing underwater. Sure, it was mainly for the sake of filming something cool, but you gotta admire their knack for creativity. If you've never considered visiting Guatemala, here's a solid reason: witnessing such an epic eruption with your own eyes. I doubt fire stands a chance against such brave guys. She realized that using a mop would take up a lot of time, so she decided to take matters into her own hands. Here's how I imagine a hybrid of a crocodile and a mosquito would look. How our parents say they got to school. You can fire this weapon without even bothering to aim. Watching explosions is always cool. Especially when you can see all the little details. Everyone might have different feelings about the taste of durian, but we can all agree that the folks who harvest it deserve a lot of respect. pretty odd way to take down an old chimney. Odd, but it gets the job done. We've got exclusive footage from the making of the latest Fast and Furious movie. It's a weird experiment, but now you know what happens if you heat up soda to a really high temperature. If you saw this on the beach, you might just walk past it. But knowing what's hiding beneath the sand, you wouldn't just walk, you'd run. Have you ever seen a corridor leading to a beehive? When this guy set out to conquer the skies, he had no idea he'd end up having such an amazing instructor. We just found out that the most important thing for the position of wood unloader is not having claustrophobia. Did you know that airplanes have emergency inflatable slides? Take a look at how they're deployed. This powerful engine is designed for space use, so when it operates under low pressure or at sea level, it causes the flows to separate. That's what causes those stunning rings. The portal between Dublin and New York is one of the coolest ideas nowadays. this angle, Falcon looks like an alien spaceship. It's weird to realize that such a scary natural phenomenon can look so calm and mesmerizing. The illusion created by the distortion of particles in the atmosphere looks like a glitch in the Matrix. It seems as if there are two suns in the sky.
Bro.
Is this a portal? Does a ghost live in the window? They've never figured it out. Do you have any ideas what's going on here? Share your thoughts in the comments. Did you know it's not just humans who sunbathe? Some birds spread their wings and bask in the sun to dry their feathers and warm up, helping them fly better. It's hard to figure out how exactly that hole came to be. But if I were the cameraman, I definitely wouldn't go check out what's inside. Who knows? Maybe Dune isn't as fictional as we think. This is what it's like to work in a grain silo. It's easy to see why they're cautious coming down the stairs. Our eyes make nearby objects seem like they're moving faster than those far away, creating some pretty cool illusions. They're probably trying to figure out how to get to the nearest garden.
What the is that? What the is that?
You shall not pass!
You can tell right away. This guy is a true pro. A brilliant invention that's far better than the usual road workers with cones. With all the mist around, the tower could easily be mistaken for a spaceship. I bet there were some people who briefly thought aliens were paying us a visit.
Frank, we put it. Frank. And some over us.
That's what happens if you mess
Let's
around.
add some odd creatures to our collection of phobias.
4 times your home vacuum cleaner. Like, just the suction hurts. And there's its teeth. That tongue just cuts right into you. And now he's going snake. See you guys.
Not every couple understands each other as well as these guys do. They're like the ultimate dream team. After this, the field will be covered with grassy plants. It's all thanks to the seeds that this machine quickly plants in the soil. This guy is the top boss among all the forklift operators. When floods hit, water flows become practically uncontrollable. Just check out the speed of this current. It's terrifying to imagine what kind of havoc such a flood could wreak. I bet you didn't know that deer are really good swimmers.
Красавчик какой. Шкурка вся облезла, да?
Ну ладно, поехали.
He's not just a skilled driver, but also the bravest guy in the world.
Oh my God!
Let's be honest, the idea didn't look too great from the get-go. This only works in cities that don't have any bridges or arches. When the camera shutter speed matches the propeller rotation perfectly, it looks like the blades aren't moving at all. Maybe it seems chaotic, but each robot is doing its job properly. These guys handle deliveries much better than we do. Just like that, the guys clean the air filter in a matter of seconds. You can watch this endlessly. The guys discovered a cool way to light up their way and make their flights even more spectacular. When the rainy season, right now you're witnessing a new world record for a free fall lifeboat drop. It plunged into the water from a height of 60 meters. Yeah, they keep track of these kinds of records too. As ships sail through the channels of other cities, pretty soon we'll have surfers riding waves here. Sailors spotted something really strange on a buoy. It turned out to be a Japanese skeleton shrimp. They live like this, in colonies, attaching themselves to seaweed, other organisms, or even buoys.
Jetzt kommt es. Jetzt kommt es. Oh ja, doch jetzt. Wow.
In the mountains near this river, there's been a lot of rain lately, causing water to rush down and gather here. The river fills up quickly, carrying tons of dry branches and logs along with it. Surprisingly, locals say these floods don't last long and usually don't harm people.
Ice overflowing at the pier. Okay, that's pretty cool though, right?
Residents of a city in Michigan got a chance to witness an ice tsunami up close. This happens when the air suddenly warms up, causing the ice to melt and get pushed closer to the shore by waves. This phenomenon rarely causes damage, so the cameraman wasn't afraid to get close and observe it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. We're just doing a video. Yeah, Abby? You ever seen this before?
The way the water flows out of this dam is just like a stunning waterfall.
No way. God!
There's a reason people say pets often resemble their owners.
Fire!